You know, humiliation when you have a disability just doesn't exist anymore. You're so used to falling in awkward places, um, falling with a kilt on and everybody seeing your underwear, watching you struggling to get up. That humiliation just doesn't exist for you. It's about the fight to get up. And as a teenager, I noticed that I was falling more and more. When I reached high school, I would fall up to 5-10 times a day, and a part of me had to be out of my body and pretend that I wasn't experiencing it to survive it. I had the condition where I didn't think I was real. When something happened, I'd pretend it was happening to something else outside of me and that I wasn't really experiencing it, because if I had to experience what I was experiencing, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. So I left my body many times just to deal with the situation, because constantly falling and getting up and falling and getting up didn't make me feel like I was human anymore. And no one thought maybe this girl needs a walker, a cane, anything to help her. I would dissociate, basically. It's called disassociation. When I looked in the mirror, I could not see a reflection. All I saw was like a dark space. And you're probably thinking, well, how do you look in the mirror and do your hair and put on your makeup? I did not feel like a human, so I just felt like I was a doll that I was getting up and dressing up each morning. I did not feel connected to my body. I did not think the reflection in the mirror was myself. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see anything. I know that's very hard for people to understand, but I was so confused of who was in the mirror that I would constantly look in the mirror to see if I was still there. I had no idea what I looked like. All I knew was that this body requires you to get up, shower it, do your hair, put on your makeup. Because that's what teenagers did, I guess, back then. But I honestly could not see a reflection. I did not even have an identity. I was disconnected from my life and disconnected from my body. That was a coping mechanism for me to survive what I had to survive. Because of that, I was almost a mute, but not quite. I was very shy and didn't talk unless I absolutely had to. I didn't have any friends, so much so that I had to go to the locker and pretend I was doing homework so that it didn't look like I had nothing to do and no one to do it with. If I tried to hang out with my so-called friends that were really Sarah's friends, my twin sister, they would all walk away once I finally sat down. So I was really all by myself all the time. And believe it or not, even though I did not feel like I had an identity because I couldn't figure out who I was outside of Sarah's identity. And since they were socializing me to be the other, they really did. They did not treat me like other children. They did not socially accept me. They did not include me in their social circles. I only followed my sister around like a little puppy. And no one talked to me. No one engaged me. They just, I guess, felt pity for me, but never included me. Whenever I went to things, I was just quiet. I didn't say anything. And I knew that these weren't my friends. They were just Sarah's friends, and I was Sarah's sister. On my 16th birthday, just to show how invisible I was. Like, I really wasn't allowed in their social sphere. It was like having a disability made me something else to them, and they were supposed to be kind to me. They were supposed to open the door for me. They were supposed to smile to me. They were supposed to say hi every morning, but it didn't mean that I belonged with them. It didn't mean I was a part of them. They were very two-faced, and just to show how invisible I was, on my 16th birthday, all of Sarah's friends went to great length to decorate my sister's locker, which was right beside mine, and not bother to decorate mine. And I went to my locker with these sad eyes, because I'm like, well, this is proof that I don't exist and that nobody cares. One of a friend I knew, but wasn't a part of a friend group because she didn't like to be around Sarah and her friends. She didn't like them. She looked at her locker disgusted and then ripped part of her locker decorations and stuck them on mine with some tape. And I don't even think she thought I was looking, but it actually meant the world to me, because someone was saying that wasn't right to not recognize your sister. She exists too. I was essentially not even human to them. I was just the other. I don't know how to explain it. I did not belong in their sphere. Because I had a disability, I was not invited in the social world. And I got used to that. When I went to college, I thought, adults live here. Adults go to college. They're going to act like adults and include me. Again, they talked down to me. They were nice to me. They talked to me sometimes. But did they ever invite me to their dorms to have shots? No. Did they ever invite me to go to the bar like they were doing? No. Did they invite me to do anything social? No. I did not belong within their sphere because I had a disability. And in my dorm, there was a guy with severe spina bifida. And because he had been treated like he wasn't a human all his life, he did not know how to socialize, and he did not look people in the eye. And when he was asked something, he would barely talk, and if he talked under his breath and mumbled very unconfidently. You could tell this person had been rejected from birth and did not know how to socialize with others because of it. So we did things together, but he was just treated like he was worse than me, unfortunately, because he was so afraid to talk. And he was so used to not being seen because of his wheelchair. Even when I was with him, they would talk to me through him. And these are the early 2000s, okay? And I know things have gotten a little better, but not really. I'm not impressed with society whatsoever. It was finally in university when I could barely stand in a line to get a coffee, and I was just counting the steps until I could hold on to the wall, or I could, when they had those poles with ribbon and then a pole, I was waiting to get to that pole so I could lean on it, cause I no longer had the strength to walk with just my legs. But I couldn't convince my mom, and I didn't have her support. But I just decided to get a walker because I fell backwards and I no longer felt safe. And I stuck up for myself, and I got a walker, and I functioned like that perfectly for years and years. But for some reason, my family still rejects the walker till this day, even though I've had it for over 20 years. And they say, you could just learn how to walk like you always did. If you do more physical therapy, if you work hard enough, if you have a positive attitude, all this stuff. I remember when you could walk like you didn't have a disability at all. Well, let's not take your walker. I don't want my walker in the car. It'll make it a mess. Oh, if you're bringing your walker, you're not bringing it inside the house. I don't have room for it. I have been fighting for my safety and stability for as long as I can remember. And now I have a wheelchair, and I can't accept it because of my family. I don't think I'll ever be able to accept it, or the way it will change society views me. So here I am with 2 swollen feet because I've been cleaning my house all day and trying to do everything on my own and pushing through the pain. Should I be resting? Yes, but my mentality as a child was, you gotta work, you gotta move. And my dad was talking about a wheelchair van because he finally accepts me for where I am today, and I acknowledge him for that. And my mom said, I'm not emotionally ready, so we're not doing that. She had already decided that I wasn't going to have a wheelchair van, even though I already had a wheelchair. She still wants to control and dictate what I'm able to do, just like she did when I was 8 years old, and she told me, guess what? You're no longer walking with a walker. You're going to learn how to walk with 2 canes, and then we're going to take away the cane. And then we're going to take away the other cane, and you're going to learn how to walk with nothing at all. When you're 8, you just do what your mothers tell you to do. You don't think, oh, that could endanger my safety. That year, I cracked my head open twice, by the way. And so my mom has always controlled and dictated my destiny in terms of my disability. And when I was struggling with my infections, not able to walk, none of them wanted to even accept that reality or help. I'd hate to think it's because they thought I was embarrassing and pathetic, and they didn't want to help this person. I don't know what happened, but I do want the answers someday. Because I may be a 36-year-old adult, but I did not deserve to be completely abandoned by the people that I loved and counted on to be there while I was struggling with a life and death situation and with a life-altering situation. I hope I get those answers soon, but I highly doubt it because we're a family that doesn't talk about it. But I forgive my mother because she pushed me so hard. I was able to do so much in my 20s and early 30s that so many people with cerebral palsy maybe can't do. I don't care though. If they have to use a walker or a wheelchair, who cares? But they made it look like if you were in a wheelchair or used a walker or used canes or used a walker, you weren't good enough. You weren't good enough to me. And then my mom resented me because look how much work I put into you. And now look at you. When I got out of the hospital, barely able to walk out of the hospital, I fell and wasn't able to get up. And she didn't even offer to help me up. She just watched me struggle to get up for 5 minutes until nurses horrifyingly helped me up, and they said, "Why didn't you help your daughter?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know how to help her. I'm not a professional." And then when I asked her, "I'm going to need your help to survive this, to get my abilities back, to rebuild my life," and she said, "I have a life. I have a dog. I have a job. I don't have time to help you. I have a life." And all of a sudden I cried and I cried and I cried and I said, "How am I going to do this, Mom? Why aren't you a mom?" And she said some things that I can't even repeat here because it really is that bad. But don't worry, I'm very, very, very used to it. But I'm a very strong lady because of everything I've been through. And I know to value everything I have in the moment. I know that I could lose everything within an instant. Lose absolutely everything. My independence, my ability, my mobility, my ability to be pain-free. So it makes me cherish the days that I am well. Well, thank you, everyone. It was wonderful to talk about stuff again. And I hope to talk again.